Okay. I ain't done push-ups in a minute. I just did chest today, so you
Good. I
should
did
be about
this morning.
Ooh.
All right.
You ready?
Ready, set. Let's go. 1, 2, 3,
4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thirty. 35. 45. 55.
That's good.
I hate to tell you this, it's not recording.
My name is Steve Cunningham. Around here they call me Hammer. Some years back, I worked at the Eufaula Fire Department, and I always felt this urge and call on my life. I had this thing, but I really didn't use it. To be honest with you, I didn't think I was good enough to be used by God. From everything that I'd seen, all the people that I'd seen, and the things that they were saying, I couldn't see myself being like them because they seemed to be too good for me to do and for me to be used by God so I could be like them. But I kept feeling this call, and he kept telling me to come. So I went to church, and I did the church thing. I gave my hand to the preacher, and actually I made a deal with God. I was working at the Eufaula Fire Department, and I was the only paramedic in the city of Eufaula at that time, on that shift. And it was a Friday night. I had been to the revival, and had been all week, and the preacher once again tells me, he looks at me out of the blue and says, God's calling you. It's not the first time it's been told. It's not the first. I mean, I've been hearing this since I was a kid. But I said, yeah, And every night he said, will you give yourself to him? I didn't. And I knew on Friday night I had to work at the fire department. So I wasn't worried about it. Like, if I don't do it on Thursday, you can't get me on Friday because I got to go to work at the fire department. And I went to work at the fire department that night, but I still felt this thing. So I called, and I said, well, Lord, I told you what I did. I said, Lord, if you can get somebody to come in and work for me on a Friday night at the Eufaula Fire Department, where there's only 3 paramedics, I'll go down to that church and I'll give myself to you. So I called this guy named David Holman. And then keep in mind, Friday nights are hard to get somebody to work, and we're all so busy. And it was only for like 3 hours. But I said, David, will you come and work for me for a little while? He said, thanks, yeah, man, because I need to be off sometime soon. And I want to come in and go to work for you. I'm like, oh, Lord. So he came in, and God set it all up. And I went to the church, and sure enough, the preacher asked me to come up again, and I went up and gave my hand to him. And so I did that, and I got back in my vehicle, and I drove back to Eufaula Fire Department. But I knew something still wasn't just right. I just didn't, something wasn't right. So I walked down and had a personal talk with God, me and God. And I said, God, if you want me like I am, I give myself to you. And when I did that, I went to bed that night with a peace, and I woke up that morning with a peace. Things were different. And it's been a journey because I look at myself now, why do I always talk about God, in the gym and everywhere? Because, it puts me in a position where people come at me, like after every class I do a devotion, and people say, I remember when I first started doing it, people say, we get enough of that at church. And they would walk out, some of them. But now, more and more stay, and it's on Facebook now, so the word is getting out. But I said to myself, why do I keep doing this? But I can't. It's inside me because I like what you said. You said champions for Christ. I realized that there's a conqueror in me, and there's a greater than he that is in the world in me. And I believe that. So now when I go somewhere and talk, I'm not afraid. There's sometimes I'm nervous. But then I realized, I said, oh, no. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. I have to preach to myself. And then when I call on him, he always comes. I could go on forever. He comes out. So when I go somewhere and people says, like I went to the Kids for Christ thing and spoke. And when I went in there, I was excited because this time I was going to where they chose to come as children of God to be together. A lot of places I go, they don't choose to come. They just ask me to come speak. but I go. But when I walked in there, I saw them, and I was like, look at all these lights up in here. All these lights up in that little room for Kids for Christ. It was so bright to me. I think I put my sunglasses on. It's so bright up in here, and it's just like on Sunday mornings. It's so bright, but I'm trying to tell these people, guys, that's good. It's good. But Jesus didn't say we're the light of the church. We're the light of the small building and the Kids for Christ. He tells us to go out there and be the light of the world. And in that, doing that, it makes me like, I see why, on my journey, I see why people don't like being lights in the world. Because lights in the world, they try to knock your light out. So keep in mind, when you got a thief, he only comes to steal and kill and destroy. And most of the people do their stealing at night. And they want it to be dark. And they try to cut their lights off. So knowing that they're trying to get me to put my light out, God says I had to plug into my power source. This man told me one time, plug into Galatians 2:20. Having been crucified in Christ, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. This life I live in the flesh, I live by faith of the Son of God who died for me. So I plug into that power source, and when I plug into that power, I can do all things. And I don't do it. I know if I speak the word is the power of God. I believe that it changed me, and it's something that's like that good to me. I have to share it with somebody else. I'm passionate about what I believe in. Sometimes I look at myself, where did this come from? When did I start this? Because I didn't used to be like this. But it was all God, and I'm so excited about it. It's so like, don't you look at these restaurants around here. Most people go to restaurants because somebody told them, man, they got some good stuff over there. Or they go back, oh man, that's a good car. Well, I know somebody that's better than all of that. And I just got to tell some, he changed my life. He saved my family. He's blessed. God, everything that God says he'll do, he'll do. And God's been good to me. He's been, if I don't live another day down here, I'm okay because I know where I'm going. And where I'm going is better than where I'm at. But if you're going to leave me here, I'm not just going to sit around. He didn't leave me here just to be sitting around. He said, let your light shine. I think people are waiting to get to heaven to let their light shine. We don't need no lights in heaven. The glory of God lights up heaven. So this is the time to be letting your light shine. You say you ain't got no power. Oh, if you got him, you got some kind of power up in you. All you got to do is open your mouth and let him speak. That's me. I love the Lord. I love the Lord. He's been so good to me. And I'm not ashamed of him. I'm not ashamed to tell anybody about him because he has been so good to me. He's been so good to me, I can't keep it to myself. And I just want to share that with people. God's good to me. And he wants to be good to you. Let him. Nobody loves you like he does. Have a blessed day, my brothers and sisters.